This video is going to talk about how to find the range of a relation. As you recall, range is the set of all outputs, or y values. Range is read from the bottom of the graph to the top of the graph. Looking at my y-axis, I notice that the bottom of the graph is at y equals positive 3. Looking at the top of the graph, I see arrows, so I'm going to shade in the arrow at the top of the graph. Because the space in between is connected, I'm going to fill in the space in between. So I notice that for my range, I have an interval that begins at y equals 3 and ends at positive infinity because of the arrow on the top. And I use the interval because all of the space in between is filled in. For this next one, I'm going to again look at the bottom of the graph. At the bottom of the graph, I see arrows, so I'm going to mark the arrow at the bottom on the y-axis. At the top of the graph, I see that the top of the graph is at y equals positive 2. And because all the space in between is connected, I'm going to fill it in. Therefore, I have an interval for my range. The interval for my range begins at negative infinity and ends at y equals positive 2. On both of these two graphs, this one and this one, I used a closed bracket to show that the endpoint was included. If the endpoint were not to be included, there would be an open circle at that spot. For this graph, the only point on the y-axis that this graph touches is y equals 1. Because that's the only point there, and it's a disconnected point, I use the squiggly braces and put 1 in the squiggly braces to show that my range can only be where y equals 1.